This we call it as joy of pregnancy. Okay, the same program called Pregnancy Planning Workshop. In a natural way, how to have pregnancy as well as a delivery, everything, the whole process becoming a natural way. That's what our presentation is. Myself, Raviji and Gayatrima have developed this program and we are presenting it to you today. Okay. So what is pregnancy is the question. I'll give you some answers. If you feel it is correct, you can say yes. If it is not correct, you can say no. What is pregnancy? From your view, okay, from your point of view. Okay. Yeah. Begetting a child. Is it correct? Is it begetting a child? Begetting is having a child. Is this pregnancy about? Just like we are together for a long time, why don't we have one child and we are having a child, getting a child through pregnancy process? Is it right? We can say yes or no, no problem.
Yes.
Okay. What about you? Only one answer.
Yeah, it is like having a child, but then
Something
it's
more.
much more.
Okay. Let's see. Is it conceiving a child? Between begetting a child and conceiving a child. Conceiving a child has a different approach. Like I'm offering something to produce something that is from my own body and getting it out. This is a conceiving a child. Then is it producing a child? Do you see the difference in these wordings?
Yes.
Yeah. See, we simply use some word, but we don't know what actually it means. That's why I'm asking you to look into various ways people say, I want to get a child. Some people say, I want to conceive a child. Some people say, we want to produce a child together. Is it so? Is it production?
No.
No. Even though you produce a child, it is not about production. Do you see this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it manufacturing a child? Definitely no, I know. Correct is not something. I just put this question to make you laugh at what can be going on in the minds of people who think about it. It's not some production or manufacturing, right? Is it creating a child?
Yes, I think so. Creation is a little more natural.
Yeah,
So
more,
maybe yes.
more closer to our heart, right? Yeah,
Yes.
that's beautiful. Yeah, is it developing the progeny? Because when you are married and you don't have a child for a long time, people start questioning you. When are you going to give us a child? When is your next Vamshodharak comes? When is our, correct or not? So
Yeah.
now you will be very much like embarrassed when people ask you, when are you married? Goes on. As if something wrong that you have not yet got a child, right? So now you will say we should develop a progeny. Is it true?
No.
Some people work for it. Again, it's just like acquire some property. You have to develop a progeny. Like real estate development, it is something more than that. Okay, it's not so, right? To prove that you are also productive,
No, not really.
because when you are a lot of people start asking you questions, they doubt like, are you really capable of producing a child? Anything wrong with you? Like that when they say you have to prove to the world, no, I'm a man and I'm a woman. We can really have a child. Is that so? No, right? Yeah. Don't get into the trap that you have to prove that you are productive. Okay. It's a 9 months journey with the divine. What do you say? I've seen this answer, 9 months journey with the divine. There is some divinity entered into you and your journey started with the divine. Most probably our Shvetagnya must be able to say something about it. What do you say?
Yeah, out of all this, I think the last one is more what I feel like the child chooses parents and more divine than.
Can you explain a little more from your experience?
Like we are married for 7 years, but this was the right time for us and we are ready for the child. I think then the child will choose us, and that is how it happens. It's not like we are bringing the child into this world. It is like child choosing. I can't elaborate more, but I feel only when the right time comes and when we are ready for it, things turn positive.
Yeah, the child has chosen you, like God has chosen you to be parents. Okay.
Yeah, for that child, yeah. For the
Beautiful.
specific child.
So what do you say for the last one? Receiving the blessings of God.
Yes, definitely.
Yes. A motherhood or like a parenthood is a blessing of God. God wants to bless you. And they say, "Yeah, I am blessed with a child." You see, you heard this word, you know, we are blessed with a child. This is what actually it is. Pregnancy is, in fact, it is receiving the blessings of God. What is blessing of God? Let's go a little more into this. Blessing of God. Nature is the creation of God. God has not created you, me, and all this. He has created nature. Nature means what? The whole universe. Where life can be. Probably after a lot of research, people found life is possible only on Earth. It's because there is something that is so much in such a combination that life can exist. Life can really come up. This is what God has created. Then all things, all living things started coming up. So nature is the creation of God, and God is the only creator. Okay. Understand? God is the only creator. God has created everything. We are also a creation of God only. Everything is His own creation. So we are His creation. We are all a part of nature. We cannot exist separately from nature. Is it true? What do you say? Can you live without water?
No.
Soil,
No.
air, sun,
Yeah.
nothing, correct? So we cannot live without this. Now with this coronavirus, people are becoming more aware of it. You know?
Yeah.
We have destroyed enough nature. Now we should better limit ourselves, better be at home, even do your classes from home.
Yeah.
We are all a part of nature. We have forgotten that. We think we have to control nature, we have to overpower nature, we have to be dominant. This is the human error that has happened.
Hmm.
Manipulating the nature is a cause for all problems. You see this?
Correct.
Everything we
Yes.
try to do something thinking that we have got more power. No, your power has come from nature only. And you are
Hmm.
trying to use the power against nature, means you are destroying yourself. Correct? You are trying to cut the branch on which you are sitting. Okay? What
Yes.
happened? So this is the
Hmm.
manipulating the nature is a cause for all problems. If
Hmm.
anybody has problem with conceiving a baby or has problem within the family, within everywhere, even in their job or any place, I tell you, it is all because of manipulating the nature.
Hmm.
We can trace it back to that point. Okay? Following the principles of nature is the secret. How do you really solve all the problems? Simply know what are the principles by which nature work, its principles of operation, and just follow those principles. Then things are solved. Very simple. Nature is telling you something, you don't listen to it. Nature tells you very hard, still you don't listen to it. Then nature says you are not fit enough to be a part of the nature. Better merge with the fundamental elements. So that's why following the principles of nature is the secret. So in case you have a problem, search for what is the principle of nature behind it. This is what our great rishis have done through their tapasya. They have research. Their research means what? What actually already exists, that they found out. Research means not finding out something new, finding what already exists in nature, and they brought it back for any normal person to follow. So this is what we have brought it as a PPW program for every couple, every planning couple, everybody who wants to be parents, to realize the principles of nature and follow it. Got it?
Yes.
Yeah, good. So this is the philosophy of living by nature. Okay, it's a philosophy. It's not that you have to believe in God, believe in this, do this. No, you don't worry about believing. Whether you believe it or don't believe it, you still exist, right? So as long as
Yes.
you exist, you know that you can exist only by the nature. If nature doesn't exist, you cannot exist. Okay, as simple as that. Living by nature is the philosophy. Very simple. Got it? This is what actually is the blessing of God. If you believe in God, okay, know that believe in God is not simply doing this puja, that thing, and all those things. Okay, believing God is living by nature. If you trust in God, follow the principles of nature. Got it? Yeah.
Yes.
So, what are the principles of nature? When we say we need to follow principles of nature, we should know what are the principles of nature. Our great ancient rishis and our gurus, all these people have done a lot of tapasya. Means they got so much involved with nature. They went so close to nature. They became a part of nature to such an extent. Nature and them are not, differentiated. In that state, they have come out with the principles of nature. So there are fundamental principles of nature I'm going to explain to you, which are very, very essential throughout your life, not just for this course. Procreation is the basic principle of all living beings. Life exists means it perpetuates its species. Correct? Whether it may be a plant, an animal, a single-celled amoeba, or it may be anything in nature, including the virus. Okay? Procreation is the basic principle of all living beings. Do you agree with this? Do you understand this?
Yes.
Procreation means what? Creating its own species. This is the first principle of nature. If it cannot procreate, that means it disintegrates. It cannot go further. There are so many species doesn't exist now because they are not able to procreate. That they are not able to create its own species. Then they all just vanished from the world because they are extinct now. One to many is the rule. The rule is if there is one, it should become multiple. This is the rule of nature. If there is one, it wants to become more and more. Okay, this is the second one. And the third one is controlling birth by any means is against nature. Because one to many is the rule. When we try to manipulate, meddle with it to control birth, it is against nature. Because of this, a wrong signal goes into nature saying that you are not interested in procreation, which is the basic principle of all living beings. And fourth principle is nature adopts your attitude. In case our attitude is to control, saying that the population is a problem, I don't want children, not now, all these kinds of things will send signals through your body and mind and everything to the nature saying that human beings are not interested in having procreation. They don't want to produce of their own species. Then nature takes its measure either to cut short their lifespan or eliminate the species or bring in such diseases which will simply make this whole human race come to a standstill. Because nature adopts your attitude. Survival of the fittest is a nature's rule. In nature, whatever survived is that which is fit enough to survive. Otherwise, it cannot. There is no mercy in this. If we say mercy can be there within our species, like, oh, let him also live. Okay, let him also do something. If he is not fit enough, so what? We will take care. But nature doesn't have such kind of any mercy. If you are fit, you survive. If you cannot fit, just leave. That's all. So keeping yourself fit, keeping yourself good enough to really live and prolong your life is our own responsibility. Jivo jivena jivita. This is a Sanskrit saying that means one exists with the other. One existence exists with the help of the other existence. That means if you have to live, you need to make sure that the other living beings also exist. So they are always complementary. You cannot say that human beings alone live, all other species can really live so that we can live happy life. Not possible. Okay, it is impossible for any of these kind of things to exist without the other one. Okay, no animal does such a thing which will eliminate the rest of the things. No animal will kill another animal to eliminate it. It will only take to the extent that it really wants. For example, a tiger is there. It won't kill all the deers. It will just hunt and eat whatever that it requires. And after eating, even if a huge group of prey come to it, it won't even touch. It is harmless. So because it knows the principle, Jivo, Jivena, Jivitam. If they exist only, I will exist. This is how the principle of nature is. Hope you understood these principles, right?
Yeah.
So it may be giving you some kind of an impact about how we are living. It is not simply to understand, it is something for us to realize and digest and put it in our mind in every act of our life. These are the principles. And the last one is life is to be symbiotic to expand itself. Symbiotic. Symbiotic means it should be something that it should get tuned with the rest, then only it expands. We need to get tuned with all the other beings, then we can expand. If some big disaster comes, know that we are not really hearing very carefully to the rest of the world, rest of the existence in the world. I was just reading a story I would like to share with you. There was one fellow who bought a very posh vehicle, car. He was driving down the streets in his car in full speed. Zoom, 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 he was going. It was a very expensive car. Suddenly, that car got hit with a brick. He was so much annoyed. He saw his back door was really damaged. Then he went back in his car to see who has hit him. There he saw one boy standing there. He was so angry, he got down from the car. He went to that boy, he just held him by his neck, put him to the wall and said, "Do you know what you have done?" Like this. "You have really damaged my car. It cost so much. What you have done?" Like this. But that boy said, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry." "What sorry you are telling?" "I wanted help. I don't know how to attract your attention. So I had no other way but to throw this thing." "Why?" he said. "See, there is my brother. I was bringing him in a wheelchair and he toppled out of the wheelchair. I don't have enough strength to put him back into the wheelchair. He is paralytic. So what to do? I was calling, nobody is coming to help. Then I had to throw this stone so that you could come. Please help me putting back my brother into the wheelchair." So he was shocked. "Oh, yeah?" Then he went, he helped him put it back. While coming back to the car, he was very deeply concerned. Then the thought came, yeah, see, why somebody has to throw a stone at you? Because you are not listening. You are not caring enough for the people around. You are not attentive to what is happening to the world around, what is happening in the nature, and you are deaf to it. When you are deaf, somebody will have to tap you. When you are really alert, then you will be able to see what is required in the world and you will be able to really support them. So this is how it is. If any disaster has come to us in the form of that brick, know that the nature wants to tell you something, that you are not symbiotic. If you want to expand, your life has to expand. You have to develop your children and you want a future for your children. Be sure that you are symbiotic. Symbiotic means you are in tune with the rest.
Yes, yes.
Nowadays we have built very beautiful houses, right?
Mm.
Everybody has their own home. Government also supports each one to have their own house. Very pakka buildings. Means what? Pakka building means what? It's completely protected. Protected from the dust, protected from the wind, protected from the rain, protected from the sun. Means it doesn't allow nature to contact you. Correct?
Mm.
So then this COVID-19 comes and says, okay, stay at home. Don't come out. You have built your home, no? Be there. Why do you come to nature? So this is how nature says. We need to understand. Now is the time to be at home. Don't come out, okay? And spread this part. Nice. The difference between love and procreation. Love and procreation are the same or different. Procreation prompts for love. You understand? Why man and women get attracted? Because they want to have the next generation. Okay? Procreation only prompts for love. And then love leads to procreation. And both people love each other. Love means there is a sense of gratitude, sense of commitment, sense of assurance, confidence, trust, then let's have a baby. We will take care. So this is how love leads to procreation. Procreation without love is against nature. There are so many people in the world. Why you two came together? Why you two live together? It's because there is an element called love. That is what real essence of nature. So if you simply want to have a child, because I want to have a child, that without love, that is against nature. You cannot really bring up a real human. You may bring up one creature on earth and call it human. But procreation with love alone will be true to its nature. Now, love is an expression of seeing divinity in the partner. When you see that your partner is no different from the God or the divine force, then love simply flows. You must have seen that sense of love really overflows you when you see that aspect of your partner. Wow, what a wonderful partner I have. Then love simply flows. Otherwise, love exists. Love exists in the world. But that love expression comes when you see the divinity in the partner. So how do you really develop that love? Start appreciating every aspect of your partner. It's not so difficult to appreciate, your own life partner. Okay, nobody has to teach you. How can I appreciate my partner doing like this? No, if you don't, who else will do? If somebody appreciates, will you be happy? Okay. So your only way to really develop love is to simply start appreciating every aspect of your partner. Wow, what nice eyes you have. What a beautiful nose you have. I like your hair. Yeah, you to love it, you don't require anything particular. Right? A baby is born. Mother appreciates or not? Correct. Same way, you appreciate your mother or not? Correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Is it because she has got a very beautiful face? But she looks beautiful because not that, no, she's a film actress. Because you love. Okay, when you start appreciating, that love flows. Because you love, you start appreciating. It's a circular. It keeps happening. So start appreciating. This is the only sadhana that has to happen in a married life. Whenever you find some problem with your life partner, what you have to do? Just to start looking at what all the wonderful things that your partner is about. How nicely he speaks, how nicely he smiles, how nicely she cooks, how nicely she takes care of you. The moment you start looking at it, every other thing simply vanish. All those things that you are finding fault with will simply become very, very trivial, very small. Then you start really loving. Okay, once you start loving, even those things which seem to be a problem, you will start appreciating. My God, the way he really troubles me is something very wonderful. Yeah. Just like a mother complains about the child, but the complaint is not that she is not loving. It is out of love only. My God, he didn't allow me to sleep at all. She will tell, right? It is also an appreciation. Trouble is also an appreciation. That's how, appreciating every aspect of your partner is the beginning for love. See how wonderful it is to be with your partner. Every time you remember your partner, every time you meet your partner, every time you think, you do whatever about your partner, see how wonderful it is. The moment you say, wow, wonderful, address this with this word, wonderful. I have a wonderful partner. I'm so wonderful being with him. It is so wonderful to be together. So the moment you start saying and seeing this, something new happens in life. That is what life is about. Life is worthy seeing that how wonderful it is to be with your partner. Start serving your partner like a puja. You spend time in doing puja and you have got so many festivals to celebrate this. So, but you have got a living divine being with you. Start serving your partner like a puja. When you are serving food, when you are getting his dress, or when you are going to bring her vegetables, everything is like, I'm bringing these things for my wife. I want to really offer this to her. I know she'll be very happy. See, these small things, even small, a bit of flower that you buy in the market and bring it to her. I just thought this will be a beautiful thing for you. It simply changes the whole atmosphere. It is because it is not that flower that matters. It is attitude that matters. Start serving your partner like a puja. Do you notice many times the girls here that when you want to buy something and you go to a shop and you are looking for your choice, you ask your husband which is the best, which one shall I choose? Did you ask your husband?
Yeah.
He may tell something that you really don't like. This is his choice, but still you like to buy it. Have you noticed it?
Yes.
It is not because you like that object, you like his choice. Okay, that's what it is. This is what
Yeah.
actually is puja. Okay, God may not like the flowers you give, but because you are offering with love, He says, okay, give me the flowers. It is His own creation, but still, because you are offering it with love, He's so happy receiving it. Okay, that's how it is. Love on 5 levels. How does love is expressed for various people? Okay, let's look at it. Love at physical level is love making. Sex is not simply having two bodies coming together. It is, they call it love making. Means what? You are really creating that aspect of love with each other. That is on the physical level. Then the second thing is mental level. That is dreaming of the partner. Love at mental level is dreaming of the partner. Whenever you do something, oh, my husband would definitely like this. I miss him a lot. Yeah, he should have been here at that time. I thought of telling her, should I call her now, right now? So these are all like, some things. Sometimes when I see a beautiful girl, I call my wife. See, here is some angel I have seen. When I saw her, I remember to tell you. See, this is what actually. Whenever you see beauty in a flower or in a woman or in the nature anywhere, if your wife comes into your mind or your husband comes into your mind, that means you are in true love. It's a mental level. Okay. Don't hide anything. Okay. Emotions. Just share life's experience. Okay. Be true to yourself. Okay. Sharing your life's experiences with your partner is the real emotional level of love. You got hurt. If I felt like crying, where do you want to go and cry? Go to your partner and cry. You got angry, where you should show your emotion? Don't show some other place. Go to your partner and show. This should be clear with both the partners. If your partner is not present in this session, ask him to view the recorded session. Okay, him or her, because this is very, very important for both of you. It's not just, of course, even if you get it, you will definitely transmit to the other partner. Okay, when you are in such a good communication. But it's better they go through the session so that everything is clear. Okay. So emotional level of love is sharing life's experiences. Okay. Everything that happens to you, keep sharing as and now, as early as possible. If you want to share today, now. So keep sharing your experiences. This is how you express your love. Okay. On the emotional level. Then on the social level, serving each other is the love. Okay. Find out their needs, their necessities. He may be hungry. She may be requiring this. Like this, when you really find out what are the requirements and provide them, this is what we call it as serving. So at the social level, love is serving each other. Then comes to spiritual. Spiritual level of love is you normally talk to each other and you think you are really in love. But how you can both be quiet and still love. That's at the spiritual level. Both of you sit together, close your eyes, maybe hold your hands with each other, and just allow yourself to settle down. Maybe before going to bed, both of you simply hold each other, and in silence, you go to sleep. Okay, this is how the spiritual level of love happens. There is no physical, mental, emotional, social level. It's simply pure love in silence. The couple who can really share their silence with each other, they are experiencing the 5th level of love. Okay. So here, to love has nothing conditional to be loved. This is the biggest problem people carry. When I love you, you should love me. No, love is not conditional. Okay, if you want to love somebody, no reason. You can simply love. Okay, just love. If you won't love or if she won't love, doesn't matter. You still can love. Okay, love is not something mutual. It is not something that you exchange. Only business and all these kinds of tradings can happen in mutual way. Love is beyond all those things. It is simply from your side. Your son, your mother, or anybody, if you say, get out of here, yeah, you can say, fine, but I still love you. You can carry that. Okay. To love has nothing conditional to be loved. Okay. Then we'll go to physical love. Each one will go into depth about it. So what is physical love? Sex is not necessarily a bodily need. Normally people think, oh, long time we didn't have sex, or we have too many. I said, this is not something to be measured like that. It's not a bodily need. Okay. Even without sex, you can survive. Without food, you cannot survive. Without rest, you cannot survive. Without water, you cannot survive. But without sex, you can survive. So it is not a bodily need. Touch is the way that heart speaks. So in physical love, it is simply the touch. When two bodies touch each other, there is a communication that happens which is not verbal. It is something beyond. When somebody touches you with a different intention, you can feel their intention. Correct? If somebody holds you like this, you look at it. What do you want? Why are you touching me? Okay, but the same, if your mother touches you, it is something different. If your brother touches you, it is something different. If your husband touches you, it is something different. Because the touch is the way that heart speaks. Okay? Physical contact is a must in all loving experiences. This is very, very important. When you go to your father, hug. At least to touch the feet. Okay, that physical contact is a must in all loving experiences. Okay, so that's why when you love somebody, you meet your friend, then will you be simply saying hello? Okay, how are you? No, you simply put your hand, you touch them, you do like this, you do like this, you do. So this is a very important communication in all loving experiences. And then intercourse is to let out oneself and merge into the other. When it comes to the sexual intercourse, at that level of physical contact, it is to let out oneself. That is where you don't exist and you become one and the same with each other. That's what actually is the physical love. Then true physical union leads to the union of two progenitor cells to form a new body. Okay, the two cells, one from the woman and from the man, there they get together. It's not just two bodies meet each other, but there are two cells, they come together and become one. Zygote is formed, and from there a new body is formed. This is the beauty of the physical level. Then mental level, mental love, what is it? Union of language and thoughts. All mind is something to do with the language. If there is no language, there is no mind. It's through the language only the mind operates. The more you have got vocabulary, the more thinking happens, thoughts come. The lesser the vocabulary, less thinking. If you don't have vocabulary, you say, is it fine? You say, if you have more vocabulary, you explain it. You will be able to express it better. When you and your husband have same language and communicate with each other, then something happens, mental love happens. Thoughts match. Union of dreams and feelings. Mental love is, I have some dream, you have some dream, let us share with each other, and then let us have the dream together. Let us have our feelings together. You cry, I also cry. Then we have got that mental love. When you laugh, I laugh. My happiness is in your happiness. This is what actually is mental love. Union of ideas and plans. You have some ideas, share with your partner and let you feel like this is our idea. This is our plan. Okay, instead of it's my plan, is it your idea, your plan? No, never have that. Till that point that comes where we comes to that point. It is we have the plans, we have the ideas, then only the love exists. Okay, then union of a vision. Okay, you have a vision in life and your vision is to be owned by your partner and you need to own your partner's vision. Then it is our vision. Then that is mental love. Form a common vision for the child to shape. When you want to go for a baby, Both of you sit together, visualize what a child you would like to have, and then you share with each other. Then you see you are bringing the child together. Common vision for the child is very, very important. Let vision be specific and precise. We'll teach you how to form a vision and how to really be specific and be precise also. The more specific and precise it is, more is the possibility of its manifestation. Then vision is in positive present tense. Vision is to be formed in a positive present tense. That is not negative, not in futuristic. For example, negative means I don't want my child to be like this. No, what you want to be, that you write. Okay, I want him to be in a future, that is future tense. You say my child is like this in present tense. So positive present tense is the way that we really form vision statements. I'll explain to you later, in the next session. Add an ideal and a picture to the vision. When you form a vision, it is to be supported by some model, some example. So like, for example, I tell you, you have a vision. You are strong like Bhima. You are strong is a vision. Like whom? Like Bhima. Then you have got an ideal, a picture to the vision. When you think of that strong Bhima, you know your child is also to be like this. This is how the vision is formed. Right? You understood this?
Yes.
So I want you to draft one vision statement, list of vision, okay, statement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that, about 20, 30, 100, anything. You and your husband sit together, write down what you would like to have as a vision for your child. My child is, like in present tense, is. Okay, my child will be, I would like to see my child as, no. My child is, simple present tense. And then write strong, healthy, happy, whatever that is, intelligent, anything that you would like, all the qualities you write. Like whom? Like whom? Like whom? You're strong like Bhima. You're intelligent like Einstein. You are like this, like this you can make statements. So make this list of statements and share an email to me. Okay, as early as possible. If you can do it today or tomorrow, I'll be very happy. I'll go through them and give you necessary corrections. Once it is clear to you, then your ball starts rolling. Okay, next, emotional love. Love is not an emotion. A lot of people say, I am emotional. Yeah, it's fine. But love is not an emotion. Love is the basis for all emotions. All emotions are expressions of love. If you cry, it's because you love. If you laugh, it's because of love. All these emotions that you show, you are angry, it's because you love. You don't get angry with some unknown person. Only with whom you have some connection and love only will get angry. Okay, that's how it is. Yeah, let the emotions flow spontaneously. When you get an emotion, don't hold back. You want to cry, cry 100%. When you want to laugh, laugh 100%. Just like the child, how the child expresses its emotion. The child will not say, okay, it's happy, it laughs. So let the emotions flow spontaneously. Okay, do not analyze the emotions. When some people, your partner or anybody expresses emotion, don't try to analyze. You know why that fellow is crying? Because they are like this. Why this fellow is really happy? It's because, don't try to analyze. If they are happy or angry or any emotion, navarasas, it is simply because they are in love. That's all. Okay, as simple as it. So learn to laugh at all emotions. It doesn't matter whatever the emotion, because the basic principle is love. Behind every emotion, there is love. So if they are angry, good, they love you, yeah. If they are really sad, good, they love you. That's how it is. So learn to laugh at all emotions. Free flow of emotions give a space to include new members in the family. When you go and cry with your mom is included. When you go and hug everybody in love, everybody is included. When you stop your emotions and you don't express them freely, then you are distancing them. Okay, you know this. So emotional love leads to mental, and that leads to physical love. Okay, when you are able to express your emotions freely, then your ideas you will share, then you will be very close even physically. Okay, this is how the relationships of love continue. Good. Next comes social love. How does social love exist? Dictating love for the society's sake is not natural. See, we are married, so we have gone this, so better we behave like this. We should appear to be very friendly. No, 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 it's not possible. Okay, don't dictate love for the society's sake. It's not natural. Love is a social behavior. Definitely, when you are in love, you also want to include more and more people. You want to really share your love with the rest of the society. That's why love is a social behavior. To love someone is a part of the love for everyone. This you should know. You are not loving somebody in exclusion that you don't love others. Because I don't love this person, I love this person is a stupid statement. If you love this person, know that you love everybody in the world. Only thing is you are expressing it to this person. As simple as that. So no exclusive love or special love for one person is possible. If you have love, it's like a flower. When it gives fragrance, it won't give it to you alone, to your nose alone. It gives to any nose, anybody. Correct? That's how love is inclusive. Inclusive means it cannot be ever be exclusive to anybody. Okay. So if your husband loves you, know that he loves everybody in the world. And he is expressing his love with you freely. That's all. That's how your love is really, flourishing. Okay, your wife is able to love you. Know that she is able to love anybody and she is loving everyone. If you say don't love that person and love me, then there is something wrong. It cannot work. Learn to share your loved ones with others and enrich your love. Allow your partner to freely and very happily love the rest of the world. Let them go to their parents' house and be happy. Let them meet her friends and be happy. Let him go everywhere and be friendly with everybody in love. Let life be jubilant. When they are like that, they definitely enjoy your company too. Okay, this freedom alone allows love to really be a wonderful, joyous experience with you. So make sure that your partner is able to share love with one and all. Okay, yeah. So then comes the spiritual love. What is spiritual love? Love is spiritual. Okay. Love means it is spirituality. Spirit. That spirit itself is love. Okay. And the spirit of sharing is love. What is that spirit? It is how you really share everything with your people around. You have food, you cannot eat alone. You share. Okay. You have got some good idea, you cannot keep alone. You share. Okay, you have some nice things to really own and possess, you share. That's what is love is. The spirit of sharing is love. The spirit of serving is love. When a person needs and you have something, better offer it in service. That is love. The spirit of appreciation is love. When you see something and you say, wow, oh, beautiful. Somebody sends a message and you say, wow, thumbs up, send a love, some heart. That is actually is the spirit of appreciation. That is love. Okay, the spirit of understanding is love. When somebody says and shares something, give your mind to listen and say, yeah, I understand. Yeah, I understand. This is what actually is the love that you have for the other person. And the spirit of union is love. When you really feel you and the other person are not different, I am you, you are me, then that is love. Okay, spiritual is to allow life to happen while in silence. So when somebody is speaking to you, just the way you are listening in silence, give your, good time with your partner, silently listening. Then the life blossoms itself. Just like allowing a flower to blossom. You don't take the flower and then open its petals and all that, right? You don't do anything. Just nurture it, leave it. It flowers, it really blossoms. It expands. This is how spirituality is, allowing it to happen. Okay, don't force upon your partner or anybody to love you. Just give that silence in love with your partner. See miracles start happening. Then suddenly you will find your partner really expresses. It requires a little bit of a time. It requires, for a woman to become mother, 9 months of pregnancy is required. Same way, you require some space. In silence only everything grows. Okay, everything happens. So spiritual love is to allow life to happen while in silence. You need to learn to be quiet, to be silent. And if you don't know, pregnancy will teach you. It will make you automatically to be quiet, to be silent, to be peaceful. This is how it is. Then be able to appreciate each other. This is very, very important. Whole life is about finding Wow, God, what a beautiful creation. This is what the whole life is. This is what is Aradhana. This is what actually is puja. This is what actually is the spirituality. So be able to appreciate each other. Let love blossom at every level, all the 5 levels. There is only one unique partner in your life with whom you can have physical, mental, emotional, social, spiritual, all levels of love. So let love blossom at every level. Let love manifest into your baby. Your baby is a manifestation of your love for each other. And sadhana is to allow love to enhance. When you do some sadhana, it is not to separate yourself from the rest. It is to really develop that love, enhancement among yourselves. Let nature take its course. Allow the nature to enter into you. Let the nature guide you. Let the nature in each other appreciate. So let the divinity be experienced moment to moment. Divinity is something that you do in the morning, puja, afternoon, then something not like that. Every moment to moment, experience it. Everything you see, wow, everything is beautiful. Once you start seeing that and able to appreciate it, then the divine experience, your life becomes fulfilled. Okay, let divine bless you, fulfilling your vision. Then automatically your vision comes true. Just because you allowed the divinity to take over, take care and move. So here are our recommendations for you. What you are supposed to do this. If you are planning for pregnancy, do 6 months sadhana. Okay, doing 6 months sadhana is very, very important. Just don't go for pregnancy straight away like that. So develop this beautiful relationship between you. If you are already experiencing that beautiful relationship, okay, you can go ahead, no problem. Already a sadhak means 45 days of sadhana is enough. Be conscious of eating, thinking, working, interacting, and resting. Resting is also, you should be conscious. Okay, many times we neglect our rest. No, rest well. Eat proper food. We'll recommend in this course what to eat, what not to eat also. How to think, how not to think also. How to really operate with each other, interact. Okay, work, all these things you'll be learning as a part of this training. Check whether above are in tune with nature. Whatever you do, it should be in tune with nature. When you're eating, when you're thinking, when working, interacting, resting, anything that you do is to be in tune with nature. The principles of nature you have to follow. For any biological complications if you have, for conceiving a baby, better contact Gayatri Ravi Shankar, my wife. She will guide you further. She will definitely show you how to really clear off all those blocks or any kind of a obstacle that you have in conceiving a baby and go for the wonderful experience of parenthood. Okay? So these are our recommendations. And what is 6 months sadhana? Do a yoga course, including deep meditation, bhava samadhi, and all these things. And ISP course you need to go through. Okay, apart from pregnancy planning workshop, the next level of training is ISP. We recommend you to do that and attend my weekly online satsangs, which will help you a lot in clearing your questions, which I cannot normally clear in the regular course, which are maybe personal, and all those things can be asked there. And then do vision reviews and sleep talk. We will tell you how to have a vision and all those things very much in detail in ISP course, where it is very essential. And we will also teach you about sleep talk, which you will understand in ISP course. Follow food recommendations for at least for 60 days before you go for conception, because food has its own influence on developing the embryo or developing that cell and developing those procreative parts in the system. So food is a very important thing that we recommend, and you follow it. Do daily sadhana as prescribed in yoga and meditation. Okay, follow them. Yoga is a very, very wonderful experience for you to realize how free you are and how expanded you are. Okay, do japa of the mantra given. If anybody, any guru or anybody has given you a mantra, follow it. If you want to learn and take a mantra, you take it from us, we will guide you through. And then 45 days of sadhana is what it's about. Do vision reviews and sleep talk, follow food recommendations, do daily sadhana as prescribed in yoga and meditation, and attend weekly online satsangs and do japa of the given mantra. And then if yoga is not available in your area, ask for a online yoga course which will be provided to you. If you have not done it, that's very, very essential for you. Then sleep talk for planning couple. So here it is. You just listen to me. You make a note of this sleep talk that I'm going to give you. Just close your eyes. Don't worry about anything happening around you. Take a deep breath and relax. Keep your eyes closed and listen to what I give you as instructions. Just listen to it. Don't make a note now. I'll give you the notes later. Just keep your book and pen apart, away from you, and close your eyes and relax. Just listen to me. You are relaxed and resting deeply. Feeling that pleasant state of mind. Enjoying your silence within. You are aware of the sleep talk going on now. In your relaxation, you're allowing the sleep talk to enter into you. Even if you get sleep, don't worry. Just relax and sleep. You know that you are a wonderful creation. God has created you through your parents, a wonderful person. Such a beautiful creation of God. So pleasant, so loving, so caring, such a divine creation you are. You are a child of God, you know. You love your partner very dearly. So loving, most beloved partner you have. You offer your best to your partner in everything that you do. Physically, mentally, socially, emotionally, spiritually. In every aspect, you offer your best to your partner. You both love to be together and share love. Your togetherness is a joy, a celebration. The attraction between you is not just mundane, it is something beyond. It's a divine experience. You support each other, being healthy, happy, and prosperous in every aspect. You complement each other. Your love manifests a divine child of God. You are welcoming a beautiful creation of God by being together in love with each other. God blesses you to be wonderful parents of a beautiful child. You do sadhana to give the best to your child. Your health, your well-being, your joy, your love, everything you offer to your baby. Your baby is a beautiful creation of love between you in all levels. Experience that baby taking shape through you and offer to the world as a beautiful gift of God. Just be in this blissful state for a while. And when I tell you to open your eyes, then open your eyes. Take a deep breath and relax. Take one more deep breath and relax even more. Now rub your palms, rub your face, rub your arms, and slowly, very slowly open your eyes and look up. Are you feeling relaxed?
Yes.
Good. So before you go to sleep, you play this audio which I will be sending it to you. So that both of you listen and sleep. Or you keep it ready and you sleep. After some time of deep sleep, it can be played also. Give about 5-10 minutes gap for this audio. Keep it playing. And then you go to bed and that starts speaking after 5 minutes because you'll be in good sleep. And when you are in good sleep, this works very well. Let this happen in your state of sleep, where it can go into your very being. When it goes into your very being, something beautiful happens. You don't act, you really live. That's what it is. This is the next point. What is it?
All the best.
All the best. Yeah. Here is our family who wishes you for a wonderful, beautiful life togetherness. ISP Online team welcomes you to Ishta family. You're a part of our family and wishes you a very wonderful time together.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Guruji.
You have any
Thank you.
questions so that you have a very beautiful life throughout your life. Okay? Throughout. Even for your grandchildren, great-grandchildren, you'll be able to get this. Okay?
Yes.
This is my wish.
Yes. Okay.
So nice of you,
Thank you.
Chetagnya and Sai, for wonderful participation. God bless you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for your
Good night.
time. Thank
Shubhratri.
you. Thank you. Good night.